In the previous episode, we built the foundation of our very first skyscraper, which ties the lower area and the upper area together quite nicely. We then filled it with trims, connected it to our smelting, cooking, haunting, and washing system, so we can make items from the comfort of our storage room. And in this episode, we're going to focus a bit on the create mod itself and add some create factories in the skyscraper. Before I run you guys through my organized planning for the next few episodes. Hello everybody, I'm Dio and welcome to my crazy little corner of planning which I created in the previous episode. Well, I created the space, I didn't create the planning, and this is where I planned a few farms and things that I think we're going to need over the course of the next few episodes, just to make sure that we have some blocks for when we start to build all the bigger skyscrapers, because like mentioned in a few episodes before this, we've got very dark and gray and gloomy colors at the bottom, but as we move up, we're going to have to get in a lot more color in the form of concrete powders, glass panes, and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a plan or an idea of things that we need to automate so we can progress forward. So naturally, we will have a dye farm that creates all the different dyes, but to get all the different dyes, we're going to have to do some flower farming, which will allow us to craft the dyes, and then we're going to combine some of those to create unique dyes like white and black to give us gray dye. We're also going to have to do things like cocoa bean farms, charcoal farms, and cacti farms, some of the nether plant farms, because if we crush those down we get some cyan dye. So dyes and plants, that's going to be one thing. Then also we need to look at automating some of, like I mentioned, the nether plants, so we can get the different, fungi, and the fungi we can use to create the new, well not the new, the two nether trees. And then also we need to look at some of the other blocks that we haven't automated in any of our farms, like we need to automate propagules. It's not a big deal, but we can't have our little mangrove farm running because we keep on running out of propagules. So we're going to have to do that. We need to automate ferns. We need to automate pickles and bamboo as well. And then we've got some of the blocks we need to automate. And I do think we might be focusing on these today because we can do them in this little area. They don't take up a lot of space and we don't need to create buildings for all of those. And then another one we need to do is this guy over here, phantom membranes. You see, we need to start farming some phantom membranes so we can start getting some phantom rails placed so we can have some movement in the city. Well, a little bit more movement. So I think we're going to do that first. We're just going to go out, hunt a few phantoms, and see how long it takes for us to get ourselves a spawn egg. Okay, I thought this was going to take a lot longer, but seven phantoms it took to create this spawn egg. Now, the thing we need to do is we need to get this spawn egg, where's this window, into the system, and we're going to place it into one of those spawners. That way we can have phantom spawning. But another thing we need to think of is how will we kill these phantoms, because they're not like other mobs. They're going to constantly fly up, so we might actually have to look into adding some spikes along the walls. So I think that's the first thing we need to do. We need to craft some spikes, and we can craft just normal supplementary spikes, which is this one. But I'm wondering if we shouldn't do spikes of harming, maybe like harming 2, so we're going to have to do a lingering potion. So we won't be able to do harming 2 because lingering potion requires dragon's breath. Yeah. Is there another way? No, you're going to need dragon's breath, so we won't be able to do that at all. Yeah, because see, poison again requires that. But if we do instant damage 1 is also lingering. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to make lingering or harming spikes. We're just going to do normal spikes in the roof. So I'm going to craft up a bunch, and then we'll see to getting them placed. Okay, so I got our spikes all crafted up, and I don't know why I made a squiggly road like this. But I'm thinking we should maybe put the spawn egg in the center spawner, because all of these already have things in. That one has something in, and then that will leave these for us to modify or add things. So we won't have to come back here all that often. Now, I don't know if the phantoms can go into these little spaces, but we're going to add some spiky traps in those areas. And maybe again then all along this perimeter like so. There. And there. And then I guess I have to do some around the front as well. I don't know. I don't think this is going to look very pretty, but it is what we need to do at the moment to maybe make this work. Because we don't have anything pushing the phantoms down, which is fine. If we do see this does not work, then we'll have to opt for building a separate farm for all the phantoms. So, well, not for all the phantoms, just for the phantom farm. But yeah, I think we should maybe try this. We have some extras. Should we perhaps do this? I mean, rather safe than sorry, and it's not like we look into this building all too often, so we won't see all of this, right? I think we're good. Just do this one and one over there, and then I'm gonna make this little thing double phantom membrane-y stuff, and then let's rip out this. Okay, cool. Let's add our phantom egg in there. Oh, it already spawned. Rip this out. Yeah, see, automatically they go up, and that's loud. Okay, let's quickly see if we go down here. They should die, and then we should be able to grab a phantom membrane right over here when it comes out, because I don't think there's a container for it yet. Are they going into the vault? No, they're not. Okay, I'm gonna see to getting one of these phantom membranes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so after some further experimenting, the phantoms don't drop any items when they're killed by spikes. They drop an egg, so we've got 2 eggs now, and that's the phantom membranes we had, but they drop absolutely nothing. So my idea of farming phantom membranes while we're busy with the rest of the episode will not work, so we're gonna have to make a totally separate episode for farming phantom membranes. But lucky for us, that does not mean the end of the episode. No, we are going to look at some of these blocks, and I think we need to just go ahead and start plonking in some contraptions in this area. So what I did do is I quickly tidied it up. So we've got a little floor over here, so we can maybe do contraptions on here. We can head on down. We've got another floor in this area where we can fill in a bunch more. And then we also have a final basement level right over here. So I think we need to divide it into different ones. And the ones I think we need to look at first might be bricks, maybe dripstone, and terracotta. Terracotta is not on here, but it's also a block we're going to use with the different colors. So if we really just do this real quick, we see bricks. So we're gonna have to make these bricks, which is literally just the cooking of clay balls, which is not a problem. And then we need to look at terracotta, which is the cooking of normal clay blocks. And then the last one was dripstone. Let's quickly see if there's a recipe for that. Oh, okay, no, we're not going to do dripstone yet, because dripstone is actually calcite and water. And I do think calcite is on this wall, because calcite is just gravel and bone meal. So yeah, there we have calcite. So we might start off with bricks and terracotta in the very basement. Okay, so we're right here at the very bottom, and this is going to be very simple. We're going to have to do a fan, and I don't think we can go through the walls because they're just one wide. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that, because then we're going to be able to see it from the outside. Well, I guess we're still hidden over here, but let's not do that. So we'll do a fan over there, which will then leave a little block for where our lava is going to be. And then we need to drop down our items. And we're not just going to drop down the clay blocks, but we're also going to drop down clay balls, because both of those need to be baked. So this way we use one system to make them both, and then we need to pick it up again, and I think we can pick it up right over there. Like so. Well, like so. And I will do a filter on that so we ensure that we only pick up the completed items. Sorry, words. We only pick up the already baked items. So we'll do a little filter. So if something happens where it reaches this point and it's not yet baked, then it will only pick that up. And then that's basically it. All we need to do now is put filters onto these two, connect it up to some power, and then connect it up to the main storage area. And power, I don't think will be a problem. We can just go this way, and then if we go down, yeah, here's the tree farm, so we can just tap into power from right over here. Yeah, so I'll tap into power here, bring it all the way over to right about there. We'll go up and we'll bring power into this little area. So the power connection I'm going to do off camera, and well, I guess I'm going to do everything off camera, and then I'll just bring you guys back when we connect it all. Okay, so we've connected up the power and we filled in all the details. I did bring the trims down all the way from the storage room up there. We just haven't connected it yet. We also added our redstone links that are connected to the what do you call those things again? I keep on this is the one block I keep on forgetting. Threshold switches. So once we reach our threshold, they will turn on. It will stop this contraption. And then just to give you guys a little peek, so we got the power coming down all the way, going through here. Underneath this, we've got it running over here, tapping into the power line right over there, which should work fine. I also have a double line, so the first one will feed this little contraption, and the second line will go up and provide power to the second level, and so on and so forth. So the only thing we need to do now is connect this up, I guess. And do we have an additional? Yes, we do have another frame trim. So if we chuck this down, give it some time, it drops the blocks. Now the question is, will it convert fast enough? Yeah, there we go. We're starting to get our items. It's getting picked up. That's perfect. And I mean, this is not going to run all the time. It's just going to run until we fill up our drawers. And currently our drawers have no upgrades in them. So that should be a total of 2,048 items once filled. But it should turn off prior to that, I guess. Yeah, we're already on 1,000 some odd. 1,472. It's going to reach that level quite soon. It's hard. It is kind of... What's going on? Oh, no. Oh, we need to... we need to kill this real quick. Let's just do this. Oh, that is such a boo-boo. Okay, so the thing what I did was... I do have the threshold switches on, but they're not on these chairs. Why did I not add threshold switches on these? That's weird. Okay, well, that's simple. That's easy to fix. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3. Oh, I noticed I already had 3 over there. We'll just do boom, 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 like that. And they just need to be 75, 25, 75, 25. That's all correct. We need to get ourselves 3 more redstone links, like so. We'll just do this, this, and this. And then we need to, I guess, do brick, like that, and then terracotta, like so. And then we just need to remove these two, because these two, come on, should not be triggering. Okay, so that should work now, but I also don't want it to stop at 2048, so I think we should add 4 times or an 8 times upgrade. 8 times 2,000, so that's 2 times, so it's about 16,000 of each block. That should be more than enough. So we'll just do that and that. And can we put this frame trim back? Because I do believe if we hop into free cam first, yeah, we've got a bunch of items over there. But if we do that, that should pick up those items. And yeah, it already started climbing. Oh, that looks a lot better. It's actually moving. Okay, that's perfect. So we've completed the first 2 farms on the little list, which is the terracotta and the bricks. Okay, well, granted, we didn't have terracotta on here, but that's one down. So that's a lot of our plate already. I think the next one will maybe be soul sand, because you see soul sand. Let's take these 2 off. And if we do soul sand, that's just a haunting of normal sand, I do believe. Yes. How do you get soul soil? Oh, from haunting dirt. Because I might do both, because it's quite a nice variant. But okay, we'll do that. So that's just a haunting. And to get scoria, or scorchia, or whatever it's called, that's scoria, we need to cook soul sand again. I wonder if we can incorporate it with this little contraption down there, because then we don't need to create another one. I might actually push this back and put this drawer in the wall over there and add another one of these funnels. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so let's quickly see if we can set up a little haunting system for sand. Okay, so before we do the whole haunting part, I want to show all the changes I made over here. And I know this is not perfect because it's going to have a priority system. Say, for example, we're busy making terracotta. Terracotta will clog this chute until it's done before it will start making bricks. But I don't anticipate that being a problem because we will have bulk in storage. So if it does have to produce, it won't be a problem. I don't think so. Then we also added soul sand to this little one. And thus, if we connect it, we will be able to get some of that scoria. And I think we've got about 400 pieces of soul sand in the system because we haven't started making that yet. But if we do that, we should see some of that falling down. There we go. That gets cooked. And does that give us scoria? It does. Okay, perfect. So we do get scoria. Oh no, what's happening now? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Oh, that is so bad. Can I pick up the lava? I forgot I was supposed to lock this one. Oopsie. I guess what we can do is we can just remove... Let's just do that real quick. Let's just remove this filter. Okay, that's fine. Let's chuck this out. That can all go into the system. Like so. We can grab that. That's not picking up because I think that system's already full. We can add that back over there. We can do this, and then we can just do a little bit of a lever right over here. And I do think we should also make this just some kind of weird filter so we know nothing comes out of it. Okay, cool. That gave me such a fright. But that should have solved the problem. Yeah, this one, we need to do that. It's not on. But I don't think we have any more soul sand in the system. We can quickly run up and just have a look. But that should have solved that problem completely. Let's quickly see. Scoria over there. Yeah, 417, and we only have 10. Oh, it won't take out because we only extract 16 at a time. So that's the reason why that's not working. So the next thing we need to do is haunt some sand, turn it into some soul sand, and then we should be fine. And I'm wondering if we can also add the haunter or the soul sand part down here, because technically we don't need to do double. So we might be able to move this little pickup drawer or slave. It's the drawer slave. I know they changed the name in the newer version. We might be able to put it right over there and have exactly the same system, but just have it start a bit earlier. Because, I mean, it will be a fan again over there. Will be the soul fire over here and just a little bit of the haunting part. Okay, let me quickly build and get all of this in. Okay, so we modified the system and we've still got this one empty, but we've added a secondary system on this side, which will do all the haunting. And I noticed it. No, I noticed there's a little hole over there, but this will do all the haunting of the sand. And we've got a little control on that side. And now all we need to do technically is just hook these two up. That should give us sand flowing out. And if we get to this angle, will that turn into soul sand? I guess it does, because this won't pick it up unless it's soul sand. Oh, and it's instantly getting thrown out this side to turn into scoria. So if we run up quickly, will we see the blocks getting taken and replaced? So that's been going down, but we won't be able to see it. Yeah, we can see we get blocks in, but we're also getting the scoria. And then the scoria should lock up any minute now. There we go, it just locked up. Why is it still moving if it locked up? Oh, I guess it's already at 100%. And then the same with this will slowly move up. I think maybe this is a bit too high and we should leave that at 80. I just think it's better because I think there might be a chance that we have some blocks just piling up because they can't get into the system anymore. Yeah, look. So we've got some scoria over here. Okay, so that's a problem. So I might just switch all of them down to about 80. But apart from that, this is working. And that's another one of the farms. Oh, I nearly fell off there. Off of the system. So that's two. We got those two off. This one we can't make until we start crafting those. Those we can't make yet. And we might actually be able to do those two next on the next level. But so far, so good. So the next item on our list will be diorite. But I'm considering doing diorite and granite on the same level. And that will be the second level over here because both of those require mechanical crafters. Diorite requires a total of 4 blocks. So if we just do this real quick and we can rip this one out, that should be okay for diorite. And then granite just requires this. I think it's shapeless, so it might also only require this, which is something we can look into. The difficult part, however, will be, I think, maybe getting the planning right. So let's just do that again. We can rip that one out. And then we have one going in there, one like that. We can have an item get put into this belt. Yeah, see, this is the difficult part because we need to have the item that's over there is over here and then there. So we can either do it using mechanical arms or we can just input the items with funnels and chutes. No, I think we're going to go mechanical arms. Okay, I'm going to quickly do a little layout, make sure we've got enough space for everything, and then we can connect it all up. Okay, so I think I've got something sorted for the layout. It's a little bit cramped in here, but nonetheless, we've got it all. So right over here, we've got the diorite contraption. So what we need to do is we need to put cobble into this block and then quartz into this one and then reverse it at the bottom. So we've got quartz on this side and cobble on that side. We'll go into the contraption. We'll feed into this chest, which will then feed into the storage down there. And then the same goes over here where it's the input. And then that's for the granite. So the granite's simple. We've got quartz and diorite, moves in, crafts into granite, and then moves down. Those are all connected up. Now we just need to connect these drawers up. So that one, I'm just going to run a little line going right over there. That one I'll just reconnect to connect these 4 funnels. But before we do that, let's quickly see to giving this power. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do rotational speed controller there. We'll do a little big cog. Well, a little big cog, just a big one over there. We'll do this and this, and that should power all of this. Yes. And we can just speed this up. Let's make it about, well, I guess we can go all the way. Yeah, let's maybe first make it 128 just to see if it all goes according to plan. And then if we were to now connect everything up with framed trims, let's quickly see if we do this and this and that. So it's working. Okay, that is awesome. Now, this one's going to be totally dependent on the diorite factory. So as soon as we have enough diorite and that fills up, well, not as soon as that fills up, as soon as all the granite fills up, we'll only start to fill up on the diorite. But now that we know this is working, we're just going to amp it up. There we go. And if we run all the way up to the storage room, we can just go and have a look and see what's happening to the storage over there. Yeah, it's slowly going. This is not going to be the fastest of farms, but it's okay. I don't know how often I'm going to use these. I might use diorite a lot more. But again, with all the farms that we have and that we build, it's not about efficiency always, but sometimes just about getting it producing passively. So with that said, we've got another 2 farms off. So we can tick that one and this one off, which leaves us with only those 3. Calcite and the scoria. Yeah, scoria and the dripstone are all dependent on dyes. We need white dye for the calcite, and we need black dye for the scoria, and then we need calcite to make the dripstone. So these we're going to leave on hold for a little bit, and then we might jump to the phantom farm in the next episode or one of the others. And also we need to do the dyes, but for now I think we've gotten quite a lot done. Yeah, that's working smoothly. And I will decorate all of this and get it all looking neatly and functioning and pretty and all of those things. Well, it is functioning, but I mean functioning in the sense of aesthetically, so it looks a bit more like a functioning space and factory and stuff. But I'm not going to be able to do it now because this episode's already very, very long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out my inventory, put everything away in the backpacks, and while we do that, I think we should go have a look at the population counter. We're currently sitting at a total of 10,645 citizens. That means our population grew with a total of 33 new citizens. If you want to become part of the population counter, then do smash that subscribe button and help us grow towards our next big goal. Before we say goodbye, I would also just like to mention that I did do this part of the workshop differently. I ripped out everything, added this little contraption where if you go through, we've got 3 smart chutes facing down, and they connected to, well, it's on this side, they connected to some threshold switches at the top with some redstone links down here, and once the storage is full, they trigger, and we stop sending items into this contraption that splits it into 3 and creates some plates for us. I might rip out these 2 lanes. The reason why I did 3 lanes was we needed a ton of each and we didn't have any, so it just made sense to do this to speed it up. So literally, if we now go all the way back to the storage room, oopsie, and we go down here and run into this little area, let's quickly go see. You can see we've got quite a lot of plates of each. We don't have a lot of the brass ones because we don't have brass automation, which is something I guess we can add to this little room or to our little wall over here. So brass is next on it, but we did do the plates. So that's another item that we can tick off of the list of things to do. So with that, it brings us to the end of this week's episode. And I know last week we did a whole lot of building, and this week we're doing a whole lot of creating, and I think that's the format we might take for the future episodes, as it takes a long time to create these bigger builds. So I'd rather focus a lot longer on getting a build done and then spend a whole week's episode on filling it with create contraptions. But let me know down in the comments, what do you think of that idea or that approach to the episodes? But again, also thank you for the support, and then leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next episode. And remember, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, as it really helps me out a lot. Till next time, bye for now.